We are now in the month of Av and are quickly approaching Tisha B'Av, the 9th of this month, which is a Jewish national day of mourning, a time when we commemorate the destruction of the temple and also remember catastrophes throughout our history as a Jewish people, from pogroms to the Inquisition to suffering that we have experienced throughout the world, and the grief and the loss and the fear of those times. And this year, we're feeling close as well to the suffering of this time that we are in right now, the grief and the loss of the many lives lost on October 7th among our people, and the fear of the ongoing attacks, the ongoing losses, as well as the rising anti-Semitism here. Also, our grief and our heartbreak over the many innocent Palestinian lives that have been lost in the course of this conflict. The whole thing is just really breaking our hearts and causing us great fear and pain. And in times of pain and fear, Jewish people have always turned to the Psalms. And I have this little pocket version of the Psalms that I take with me sometimes to hospitals or to prisons, other instances of chaplaincy, and we'll read Psalms as a way of finding comfort. And at this time, my attention was drawn back to the Psalms to look for those traditional words of comfort. And my attention was drawn in particular to Psalm 34. It's a tradition to look to the Psalm of your current age. This is the one that matches for me. And this Psalm has really a lot to speak to us in a time of pain and a time of fear. So I wanted to share it with all of you. And I'm just going to read the Psalm in English and pause for some parts of the Hebrew which may resonate, which may actually be familiar to us from other parts of our liturgy that draw on this very Psalm. So it begins of David when he feigned madness in the presence of Avimelech, who turned him out and he left. Sometimes the Psalms give a context of about King David, and this one speaks of a period of his confusion and being turned out, being cast out. So a feeling of loneliness and confusion, which we too might resonate with at this time. I bless the Lord at all times. Praise of him is ever in my mouth. I glory in the Lord. Let the lowly hear it and rejoice. And then the Hebrew says, Gadlu ladonai iti uneromama shemo yachdav. This is a line from our Torah service, a kind of a rallying cry that perhaps one who is lonely is calling others to their side, trying to look for that camaraderie and companionship. It says, exalt the Lord with me. Let us extol God's name together. I turned to the Lord and God answered me. God saved me from all of my terrors. Look to God and be radiant. Let your faces not be downcast. Here was a lowly man who called, and the Lord listened and delivered him from all of his troubles. So finding that resonance with others who have looked to the comfort of the divine in times of trouble and found that comfort and some deliverance. The angel of the Lord camps around those who fear God and rescues them. Taste and see how good the Lord is. Happy the man who takes refuge in him. And here in the Hebrew, we have lines from our Birkat HaMazon, the prayer at the end of meals. Yiru et Adonai kedoshav, ki ein machzor lireyav, kefirim rashu v'ra'evu v'dorshe Adonai lo yachzru kol tov. Fear the Lord, you God's consecrated ones, for those who fear God lack nothing. Lions have been reduced to starvation, but those who turn to the Lord shall not lack any good. Come, my sons, listen to me. I will teach you what it is to fear the Lord. And here we have Hebrew lines that have been made into a famous Hebrew song. Mi ha'ish hachafetz chaim, ohev yamim lirotov, netzor lashoncha mera, usfatecha medaber mirma, sur mera ve'aseh tov, bakesh shalom ve'rodfehu. Who is the man who is eager for life, who desires years of good fortune? Guard your tongue from evil, your lips from deceitful speech. Shun evil and do good. Seek shalom and pursue it. Seek peace and pursue it. And this is the what the psalmist adjures us to do in this time of confusion and loneliness and trouble. The eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, his ears attentive to their cry. The face of the Lord is set against evildoers to erase their names from the earth. They cry out, and the Lord hears and saves them from all their troubles. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted, those crushed in spirit, God delivers. I love that line especially. Karov Adonai lenishberei lev, v'etak'ei ruach yoshia. Speaking of those who are brokenhearted and crushed in spirit, that God is close to us in those times and can provide deliverance. And the end of the psalm, though the misfortunes of the righteous be many, the Lord will save us from them all, keeping all of our bones intact, not one of them being broken. One misfortune is the death blow of the wicked, the foes of the righteous shall be ruined. The Lord redeems the life of God's servants. All who take refuge in God shall not be ruined. And so let us find comfort in these traditional words that Jewish people have always turned to in times of trouble, times of pain and fear. And let us too take comfort in our own loneliness and fear.